Welcome everybody to the Pink Ribbon Roller Coaster. We're so glad you're joining us today. We have a special guest, Lindsay Clark. She is one of our lovely leaders at Project 31, and I'm excited to have you here today. So we're going to talk about her story first, and then she's going to help us understand some things that I think we should know with sisters who are walking the same journey that she is. So let's go ahead and talk about your story first.
Yeah, of course. I was diagnosed in September of 19 at the ripe old age of 33 as a single mom of an 8-year-old. I was diagnosed stage 4 after I found a lump in my breast, and it had spread through to my liver, my bones, and all throughout my lymph nodes at the time. So when you are diagnosed stage 4, a lot of times you don't do surgery. You just jump right into chemo. So
did you find the lump and you went to the doctor? And
I did.
Wow.
I did. And they got me in immediately, and a week and a day from finding out I had breast cancer, I was having my first chemo. Okay. So it was a roller coaster.
Yeah, for sure.
So I had 6 rounds of Taxol and Carbo mixed with Herceptin and Perjeta, and was actually declared in remission after those 6 treatments. Only 2-3 months later, at my first scans out of chemo, to find out that it had spread back through my breast, my lymph nodes, my bones, my liver, and then had spread to my brain. So by the grace of God, there was a new treatment that had just come out in April out of trials, and so I was the first person in Oklahoma to be put on it. It took a lot of tracking down. It's called Tukysa. So I'm on, it's an oral inhibitor mixed with an oral chemo, and then I still get Herceptin. And so I started that. I had brain radiation, and since then my body has been stable since May of 2020, but we just have to monitor the metastases in my brain. I've had 9 metastases radiated in 4 different sessions since then. So it's, my chemo, I have side effects still. I still have to do it every other week. I'm on my chemotherapy, and I take my inhibitor all the time. And then I do my Herceptin every 3 weeks.
Okay. Wow.
So, yeah, it's a daily
How old
reminder.
are you now?
37.
37.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you have been just a huge advocate for so many women, not just thrivers, but on all levels of breast cancer. And like I've said before, you amaze me, honestly. You really do.
You're sweet.
So I know that there's a conversation a lot of times women who are stage 4,
Mm-hmm.
they can be called survivors, thrivers. Like, help me understand that whole conversation.
Yeah, so it's a topic that my stage 4 friends and I have talked about several times. What do we want to be called? I call myself a thriver because I'm never not going to be on treatment. So I feel as if I'm thriving. Surviving to me sounds like I'm running up a hill and I'm not getting anywhere. So I prefer thriver personally. It sounds more positive in my mind, but obviously we are called survivors as well. But a survivor to me almost seems like it's in the past, and that you're over it, and we're not over it.
That's interesting. So is that offensive to you if somebody does refer to you as a survivor? Because in my mind, just from a different perspective, mm-hmm. I see surviving as today. Like, we are surviving today, and every day that we're alive, we're surviving. But I guess there's a nuance there.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I know that some people get offended by that, but I don't see that as someone being offensive. I just think it's different terms.
Right. And it's weird because, like, I've been to a conference before where I didn't even realize that was a thing. Yeah. And I had gone by, Jane and I actually had gone by a table, and it was I don't know, something about a metastatic community, and it was all about that, about thrivers. And so that was the first time that I was even aware that, oh, maybe I should be more considerate in understanding that, you know.
I mean, I think it's in one out the other, really, but thriving to me, it just means that I'm living my personal best life that I can and not just surviving.
Okay, well, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
mean, that's good for us to know, too, you know. Okay, so help me understand, too, that a lot of times I feel like there's things that I think the general community should know about the thriving community. So help me understand that.
So it's different for us. I mean, some women, may have had breast cancer years ago and went through traditional treatment, meaning they had surgery, they had chemo, radiation, and then they came out on the other side of what everyone thinks is traditionally how you treat women with breast cancer. For me, like I said, I did not have a full mastectomy. That wasn't an option. And that's hard for people to understand. It's hard for people to grasp that I haven't had that. And I think it's hard for women that have been through it to come back into it, and they're like, well, I had to go through all of that, and now I'm here again. So there's two sides to being stage 4. It might be at diagnosis, and then also at like a reoccurrence. And so we're not all the same. Some women I know that they don't even have chemo, traditional chemo. They go straight to an inhibitor or a hormone blocker, and that's their first line of treatment. They don't lose their hair. They don't, but they still have, I mean, it's still hard on your body.
Right.
It's still emotionally hard. So we all kind of look a little different. I think it's shocking for people whenever I say I have stage 4 breast cancer. They're like, but is that your hair? I'm like, yeah, yes it is, surprisingly. And they don't understand, like, how I don't look sick. But they don't know what I go through every day. Or they'll say, well, so are you in remission? I'm like, no. Or do you have to do anything still? Or, oh, like, it's nice that you don't have to do that chemo anymore. And I'm like, no, I'm on chemo. It's just that I don't look like I'm on chemo.
Yeah.
I mean, there are days I still throw up.
Yeah.
There are days that I have to go to bed. But for the most part, I make a conscious effort to get out of my bed one foot at a time, just like everyone else. Put one foot in front of the other for the day. But I think that that's really the misconception of stage 4, is that everybody thinks like, oh, you must look so sick. And one day I will look sick again, I'm sure. But
not today.
Not today. And hopefully not anytime soon.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I think it comes back to educating and helping people understand, even in the cancer community. Obviously, I think people who don't walk this walk have really no understanding. But I think it's important for us, especially, to be able to advocate for you guys as well, because I think, you do have hair, but that doesn't mean, like, every drug that people take doesn't mean that they're going to lose their hair.
Right.
And so it's important to have that understanding. Absolutely. Because it can come across as ignorant and insensitive, too, if we don't educate ourselves.
Yeah, it's just like when you're diagnosed with breast cancer, someone says, oh, well, at least you have the good kind of cancer.
I know.
And you're like, okay, first off, that doesn't make sense. And second, no. I mean, I live with this. I will be on treatment for life. It's not just a time period. And it doesn't matter even if it is a time period. You still have that emotional wound and that fear at all times.
So speaking of that, when you just said that, you get up like everybody else. You put one foot in front of the other. And it's not to compare, because I feel like everybody is different. We do have different histories and, different mindsets and all that. But I would like to hear from you specifically, like, how do you do that? Like, where do you get that grit, that, drive, that, determination?
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit stubborn, a little bit competitive with myself, And I think for me, living that normal life helps me try to forget that I have it. But so I just get out of bed and I go. And I want to put on a happy face for Cohen and not let him think that I'm sick. I mean, he knows there are some days and that I maybe rest too much on the weekends, but that's how I have to do it. If I don't, I won't make it through the week. But so I just try to keep going and try to stay ahead of it and, you know, stay hydrated, stay happy. I mean, it's all a mindset, but I do my best every day.
So,
some days are better than others.
Well, and when you just said that, stay happy, like what makes you happy?
Cohen, Steve.
Cohen's our little boy.
Yes, Cohen and Steve, and I love to play pickleball. I love to do Pilates. I love friendships. Like, I think I'm an introverted extrovert, so
That's me too.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. And so I feed off of energy of others, but sometimes I just need my time alone, and I'm grateful that I have a good balance in life that I can do that. But just being active, being out there.
So do you feel good then? Because like she is so active. She's one of the most active people that I know. Like even when you were first diagnosed, you were like, I'm doing Orange Theory 30 times a day. You know, like how do you, I mean, does your body feel okay that you're able to do that?
I mean, yes and no. There are days that maybe I push it a little too hard. If I play pickleball on a Friday, I probably, for 2 hours, I probably won't play again until the next Friday. Or like yesterday morning, I was going to go to Pilates at 6:15 in the morning, and I woke up and I was like, yeah, I'm going to skip Pilates today. And I just give myself grace over it because my body needed rest. And who wants to get up at 6:15 and do Pilates?
Yeah, I know.
Anyway?
I'm like, dang. I'm like, how do you even do that?
I was like on a roll for it for 3 weeks, but
Wow.
yesterday was not my day.
That's awesome.
So just try to, I mean, I think staying hydrated because our bodies are going through so much, and then just stretching and being mindful of rest. Obviously, I've had a hip replacement. I'm waiting on my other one. You know, the gift that keeps on giving. And so that's not always the most pleasant thing after activity, but I just try to use my little massage ball and keep my muscles stretched.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about your journey. We've talked about, you know, just having an understanding of what it means to be a thriver. And so if you could say something to the women out there and to encourage them in their everyday, what would you say to them?
Keep a normal life. Keep your head up and continue on as best as you can. Give yourself grace and don't sit in it too long. You definitely can have those days, but make the next one where you don't think about it, where you just get up and you just go and you do something that you love and spend time with your loved ones, whatever that looks like. But don't sit in it. Allow yourself a couple days, but for the most part, just get up and live normal lives.
Keep going.
Keep going. Exactly. Exactly.
Well, I love you.
I love you
And
too.
I'm so, you know, cancer can be a blessing in disguise sometimes.
Totally.
And we've said this before, that a lot of the sisters that we've met, we wouldn't have met otherwise. And so, you know, I am grateful that I've gotten to know you and just to watch you, you know, live your life. And so, thank you for being here with us. And I hope that it's been encouragement to you guys, and we will see you next time.